And we're back once more to continue the Stanley Parable.
Stanley decided to go to the staff lounge to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others. So
Sounds
the
like a
thought
wimp.
of total solitude was
Sounds like a
terrifying
puss.
to him. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, Mr. Narrator, I'll follow you. Alright, that door seems to be locked. So, I wonder what happened here. Why are these metal doors? Are they trying to keep the people in?
As Stanley entered the lounge, he was horrified to find not a single person here. He decided he would walk up to see his boss, hoping that he would find an answer there.
Alright, boss man. Let's go see what's up.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Defiance. Should I or should I not? Let's go with the narrator story this time. I want to see what's down. No, we've already been downstairs. Alright, we'll go this way. Why not?
Entering his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. It was at this point that he began to feel dizzy and a little sick, and even thought he might pass out when suddenly he noticed a keypad next to the filing cabinet in the corner of his boss's office. Stanley had never seen this panel before and had no idea what combination of numbers would produce any result. In fact, only Stanley's boss knew this, since the panel withheld access to the boss's greatest, darkest secret, and so he had assigned the keypad a combination that only he could possibly know: the number of his freshman dorm number in college, 1957. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I don't think he knew it.
Yet
No.
incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Quite amazing
Stanley
indeed.
ventured forth into the newly opened passageway.
He seems to be leading us somewhere good. Maybe we should have followed him to begin with.
As he drew deeper into the bowels of the building, Stanley had no idea where he was or what this place held. And just as he began to think he might not discover a thing, he emerged into a long room to find...
You know, if I went to work one day, and I was the only person on a work day at work, and I decided to go to the boss's office, and I found a secret passage in the back of his office that led me through a ton of rusted metal tunnels, through long corridors, I probably would turn back around and just leave. But this is not my story now, is it? This is Stanley's.
rows and rows of monitors, screens with a number above it. Stanley noticed, however, that these were not random numbers, but the number of employees who worked in the building, his co-workers. Even his own number, 427, had a place on the wall. But why a setup so elaborate, he asked. Was this simple surveillance or something even more? As if in answer to his question, the wall slid open before him, revealing the ultimate truth of the situation.
Looks like his boss likes to get off on his employees. Just likes to sit on that chair back there and... Seems pretty sick.
An enormous control panel, Stanley discovered, but not one that controlled simple machinery. Buttons were labeled with emotions: happy, sad. Levers and knobs controlled actions: walking, eating, doing work, or watching TV. Every input on this device monitored not the functions of a machine, but of a human being.
Looks like he was
And the
playing
reality
God.
began to sink in. Stanley, like so many other people, reduced to images on a monitor, had been under someone's control, always at the mercy of this machine. Could this have been the only reason employee number 427 was content with his boring job? That a machine had altered his emotions to accept it blindly? He began to feel an unbridled rage and at the peak of his anger, something happened. A spark. Stanley looked up and saw the generator overhead, still providing some small amount of power to the machine, keeping it alive. And knowing that this generator was all that kept the controls running, Stanley moved to the ladder in the back of the room and began to climb towards the rafters.
That doesn't seem too safe. What if you... Yeah, that doesn't seem too safe. Boss doesn't have a good setup. Something tells me the narrator is the boss. The man trying to control everything. Trying to control everybody. All those people on the wall. Except this time, he's not controlling Stanley. This time, he's controlling the player.
The higher Stanley climbed, the closer he felt to freedom, the further from enslavement.
Further from enslavement. Seems like he's still being enslaved, doesn't it? He has no free will here. Let's see, what is this? Disable, engage. Engage. Huh. You know what? I'm the new boss here. Let's go ahead and engage the generator and start off where the boss left
Oh,
off.
Stanley. You didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yes, I did.
After it kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself? Is that what you wanted? Control?
I chose control over synthesis.
Stanley. Stanley. I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were meant to let it go, turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you have. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized that he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Oh, let's make it say, 2 minutes.
Damn it, this is Mass Effect.
Now, this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? Go ahead, play with those controls all you like. The real controls are where I'm sitting. Did you really ever believe you held any power? Did you not think I knew what I was doing? When I erased your co-workers and turned off the machine, I was offering you freedom, an escape. I didn't have to do that. I've done this story many times, and I don't always set you free. Sometimes you just sit there, day after day after day, doing your job forever, and then dying alone. But when I actually give you the freedom to control your own actions, it's not enough. I let you go, and you trapped yourself just the same. You just weren't made to handle this sort of responsibility, I'm afraid.
Damn it, how
But
do
you
I
know what you were made for?
turn this thing off?
Pushing buttons.
Oh,
You get it now? Oh, I'm enjoying this. Tell you what, I'll throw some extra time on the clock just because I'm having so much fun.
sounds like he's having so
There we
much fun. Alright.
You see, I want to watch you for every long second you try to puzzle this out. After all, it should make sense, right? The timer, the nuclear detonation, the mysterious facility, it's all here. This is a video game.
Oh,
Except
it is?
for one thing
What?
there, hero. You've got no weapon, no vehicle. You don't even know where you're going. When you saw that timer, you just instinctively started trying to find an exit, didn't you? In fact, I bet you're still looking for a way out. I bet you're clicking on everything in this room, trying to open doors or vents or something and solve
not.
the puzzle. As though this game has a solution, as though it can be won. That
No,
timer is
I'm
not a
doing no such
catalyst to
thing.
keep things moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. It's the moment when the hero realizes that despite his best efforts, he is powerless to his environment. And then He lets go. He surrenders. And he dies.
Oh, these
30
buttons.
seconds, Stanley.
What is the point of
30
these
seconds.
buttons?
Until a boom, and then nothing. No ending to this story, just you dying. I suppose you could have gotten an actual ending if you played along, but that just wouldn't have been your style, would it? Instead, you'll perish knowing that the only choice you made here was to turn on that machine and to start this timer. But you won't be alone, because I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here to watch every second of your inevitable life from the time we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.